Good morning everyone. Today we are going to study about nervous system part 2. In previous class we have studied about types of neuron, types of nerve, what are the function of neuron, what is the function of nerve. Now here we are going to study about human nervous system. When we talk about human nervous system, there are two types of nervous system: central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So step by step we'll study about central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. First we come to central nervous system. Now when we talk about central nervous system, this is the most important part of our nervous system, and it consists of brain and spinal cord. Brain is the control center of our body, which controls various activities of our body, externally and internal activities of the body, and with that spinal cord also coordinates. First, when we study about brain lies in skull. It is protected by three layers called meninges. Now these meninges protects the brain from any shock or injury, and the portion in which brain lie in the skull, that is called as cranium. Now when you see the structure of brain, the basic structure of brain, when you see, it consists of a cerebral cortex, which means cerebrum is present there, then cerebellum is there, hypothalamus, pituitary gland is present there, pons is present there, medulla oblongata, which is the brain stem, and then we come to the spinal cord. Now one by one we'll study about the function, each part and function of each part of brain. When we talk about in general, brain comprises three major parts, which is cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. There are three major parts of brain: cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata. Now one by one we'll study about each function and its structure. First we come to cerebrum. Now when you talk about cerebrum, it is divided into two halves called the cerebral hemisphere. They communicate via corpus callosum. The two hemisphere of the brain is joined with the help of corpus callosum. Then cerebral cortex is the outer region of the cerebrum, and the cerebrum, the whole brain, again it is covered by three meninges which protects the brain. The main function of cerebrum is it is a center for reasoning, for thinking, for remembering and other activities. Next is cerebellum. The function of cerebellum, it regulates the following five functions in our body. It tones the muscle tone, coordination of goal directed and spontaneous movements, posture and balance. The balance of our body, the posture of our body occurs due to cerebellum. It helps in maintaining the posture and balance of our body. Eye movement, motor learning various things, that is motor learning. Some cognitive functions like language acquisition, riding a bike, professional musicians. So these are certain examples which are cognitive functions. Now each hemisphere of cerebellum influences motor activity on the ipsilateral half of the body. The cerebellum compares the motor plan created in the cortex with motor performance and functions to smoothen and coordinate the movement. Mainly it helps in coordination of muscular movement, the movement of our body. This is accomplished by making synaptic contact with the brainstem, motor center and the cerebral hemisphere. Now this cerebellum, when we talk about this, for example, you can take, if you get an idea to stand up and walk, it arises the cerebrum, but the muscle involved in this process to contract and relax lie under the control of cerebellum. Now this cerebellum is also affected by alcohol. That is why when you see an alcoholic, he is unable to coordinate his muscular movements properly. Next we come to medulla oblongata. Now medulla, when we talk about, it carries out and regulate life sustaining function such as breathing, swallowing, and heart rate. The main function you can see here, it helps in heartbeat, means the coordination of heart, and helps in breathing. The medulla is easily the most important part of the brain. Its functions are involuntary. But when we talk about other cerebellum, the functions are voluntary. We would not be able to live without medulla because of myriad of crucial tasks it performs, including regulating blood pressure and breathing. Any damage, if it occurs to the medulla, the person may die because it helps in breathing and functioning of heart. As part of brainstem, it also helps transfer neural message from the brain to the spinal cord. Now next we come to the most important and the next part of central nervous system is the spinal cord and spinal cord's function. The spinal cord is long, thin bundle of nervous tissues and support cell connected to the brain and located along your back and neck. The spinal cord receives and transmits electric signals. I told you sensory neuron and motor neuron. Sensory neuron is bringing the message to the spinal cord, and from spinal cord it is sent back to the affected organ through the motor neuron throughout the entire body and then back to the brain. The spinal cord is protected by the vertebrae, which are the bones running down your back, and also the cerebral spinal fluid, which protects the spinal cord from shock and injury. It is which helps to cushion the nerve tissues. Now next is peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system is divided into somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Now one by one we'll study about what is somatic nervous system and what is autonomic nervous system. So first, somatic nervous system. Somatic nervous system consists of two sets of nerve, cranial nerve and spinal nerve. Cranial nerve arises from the brain. Spinal nerve arises from the spinal cord. Somatic nerve system provides sensory input for the nervous system to feel the world around you, and after interpretation by the brain is sent with motor output to the voluntary skeletal muscles. Means it receives the message from various parts of the body and it sends to the brain and spinal cord, and from there it gets the signal that yes, you have to react for that. Like if you touch a hot object, it is sent to the brain. Brain says yes, now you have to remove your hands from there. So this is a simple function of somatic nervous system. Now autonomic nervous system, when you come to autonomic nervous system consists of pair of chain of ganglia, which means a mass of cyton of nerve cells and nerve found on either side of the spinal cord. Now here in the diagram you can see nerves which are present on either side of the spinal cord. This system acts largely unconsciously and regulates the voluntary activity of our internal organ like heart rate, blood pressure, respiratory rate, papillary responses, etc. Now you see the diagram here. It is divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic system produces immediate fight or flight response against the abnormal condition, while the parasympathetic nervous system re-establishes the normal condition. For example, sympathetic nervous system increases the heart rate, parasympathetic system relaxes the heart rate. So here in the diagram you can see what happens. It dilates the pupil. Parasympathetic will constrict, inhibits salivation, stimulates salivation. Then similarly during the process of excretion, it will contract the bladder, relax the bladder. So according to that, autonomic nervous system works. Now here is just in a tabular form I have given you nervous system. Nervous system is divided into two: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. Brain receives and processes sensory information, initiates responses. Spinal cord conducts signals and form the brain control reflex activity. Peripheral nervous system, motor neuron, sensory neuron. Motor neuron again divided into somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Somatic nervous system controls voluntary movements, autonomic nervous system controls involuntary. Again further divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic fight or flight, and rest or digest. Next is reflex action. Now when we talk about these all things, everything what is occurring in the nervous system, a reflex action is there which performs this function. Automatic response important for survival. Similar response to normal conscious action but involves a relay of neuron in spinal cord or unconscious area of the brain. It then travels to the conscious area so that you know that reflex after it has happened. Similar simple example, touching a hot object. Next, this is the pathway of reflex arc. Now you see here what happens. The person has touched a hot object. Receptor is the skin. Now it is being sent to the from the sensory neuron. It is sent to the spinal cord, and to the message to the brain is also sent there. Now both the things, spinal cord and brain, will send the message to the relay neuron or association neuron. Yes, now you have to remove the hand. So through motor neuron it is sent that now you have to remove your hand. So this pathway is called as reflex arc. Now here is a small video which will explain you the function of reflex action.
Reflex actions. Reflex actions may be defined as the automatic or involuntary response to a sensory stimulus which is not under conscious control. Some reflex actions are inborn and others are learned. Inborn reflexes are inherited and need not be learned. Some examples of inborn reflexes are given here. 1. Knee-jerk reflex. When the knee is tapped below the kneecap, the lower leg jerks forward. 2. Coughing. When unwanted matter gets into the windpipe, it is cleared by coughing. 3. Response to pain. If you accidentally sit on a pin, you jump up quickly. Learned reflexes are actions which have to be learned before they become automatic. For example, talking, reading, writing, dancing, etc. In a reflex action, the path taken by the message is known as reflex arc. It can be understood by the following example. When a person accidentally touches a hot object, a pain-sensitive receptor cell in his fingertip detects the heat stimulus and triggers off the nerve impulse. From here, the impulse travels along a sensory nerve to the spinal cord. The message is processed and the response is generated in the spinal cord itself. Then this response travels down through a motor nerve to the muscles of the arm. The muscles of the arm receive the response and his arm muscles contract, lifting the person's finger away from the hot object. Simple reflex action. The simple reflex action is a purely involuntary action. Example, when a hot object is touched by a hand, hand is withdrawn quickly. When an object approaches near the eyes, blinking. Bone of the knee is tapped, the knee is jerked.
Hope Hope you all have understood about reflex action and the central and peripheral nervous system. Thank you.